Here is an EOA Live Grande story.
B2H, or the Boardman to Hemingway Transmission Line project, has hit a new hurdle as the Stop B2H coalition files a lawsuit in U.S. District Court for Oregon against the Bureau of Land Management and U.S. Forest Service. We spoke to Stop B2H coalition co-chair Jim Kreider about the lawsuit.
Now, we are reaching out to the BLM and U.S. Forest Service for some comments on the lawsuit. Catch additional updates on Eastern Oregon Alive.
I'm Jim Kreider, and I'm the co-chairperson of the Stop B2H Coalition. And essentially, we've been around for the last 4 years, and we are questioning the need for the Boardman to Hemingway Transmission Line that Idaho Power is the point person for, Pacific Corps is a 54% funder in the project, and the Bonneville Power Administration, which is a 22% funder of the project. And essentially, we recently filed litigation against the Bureau of Land Management, asking them to do a supplemental environmental impact statement. Now, what happened is, during the Oregon Department of Energy Siting Council process, they essentially did a state environmental impact statement, repeating some of what the BLM did. But what we discovered is that the BLM missed critical elements in their environmental impact statement that we uncovered in the state process. So a month ago, we wrote a letter to the Bureau of Land Management asking them to do a supplemental environmental impact statement to look into the 8 to 10 items that we found that we felt were significant and would change their decisions on the transmission line. When the BLM did not respond to us, we had to move to litigation, because we only have 2 years from when the record of decision was rendered by the BLM state director to litigate. So we politely asked for a supplemental study. They did not respond, so our only recourse was to litigate, which we would have preferred not to do because it's going to cost a bunch of money, take a lot of people's times, and we wish we could have worked this out in a more friendly manner. One of the significant things that BLM missed, and it was more of a factor of time, is that Idaho Power had not designated their proposed routes by the time BLM chose their environmentally preferred route. Idaho Power chose 2 routes that the BLM did not have a chance to adequately study. These routes were brought into play during the comment period of the draft environmental impact statement process. So they came out from public comments. The BLM then did a superficial study of those routes, in our opinion, and when they issued their final decision, they just did not take into consideration the new impacts that these routes would have. For example, we found that the Mill Creek route is on top of a landslide area where neither the city or the county will allow people to build homes. And in the report to the state, BLM, Idaho Power, their Tetra Tech, their contractor, said these towers are being put on top of unstable landslide areas that the state has recognized, the city has recognized, the county has. BLM did not. We think that's significant. We also found that on the newly proposed Morgan Lake route, the transmission line will come less than 1/3 of a mile from Morgan Lake. And the noise standards will be in violation for the people that camp at Morgan Lake. In addition, in the noise study that Idaho Power did, their 3 testing areas in Grande, whereas one was up around by Hillgard State Park by the interstate and the train station, which has significant background noise, another by Union by the train station and Highway 30, and another in North Powder by the interstate. Now, there are many residences in between there that are much further away from those locations. So basically, Idaho Power's baseline study on noise was inaccurate and potentially misleading. And these homes, they've identified 34 homes that would be 10 decibels among higher than the state available noise limit. As we look at it, we find that number to be more up around 90. So you're going to have 90 homes that are going to have a 180-foot giant snap, crackling, and pop next to their homes at 10 decibels above the state limit. We found that to be unacceptable. The BLM also missed the declining sage grouse population in Baker County. That population has gone down, I believe it's 18% since the initial study in 2015. So that population is significantly more at risk than it was when the BLM did its initial study. We also asked BLM to study burying the transmission line in front of the interpretive center in Baker City. All we asked for was do a study on 2 miles of the transmission line. BLM did not do that. And we can't see why we would want to scar and disgrace a national heritage site like that. So BLM, go back and do your job and do an adequate study. And again, a lot of this came out from us doing the Oregon Department of Energy site study because they had specific criteria. We used the BLM information and then dug deeper. And we had people from our natural resources community, our geological community, the folks in Grande, Baker, Malheur, Umatilla County, everybody pulled together to write the 100-page report that we gave to the Oregon Department of Energy, where we uncovered all this new information. We also had over 1,000 comments to the Oregon Department of Energy, the most they've ever had on any topic. So people are obviously interested, they're concerned, and we feel that we are kind of the voice or the conduit through which people can speak their concerns. Unfortunately, I'm retired, and this has kind of ruined my retirement. My other half, Fuji, is retired. This has kind of become our lives, but we just get so annoyed when we see the bureaucracies and the large corporations that have the money to hire resources to try to run over us. So we're just trying to stand up and say, hey, we're from Eastern Oregon. We don't get run over easy. We're going to fight back through the processes that are established and prove that you guys did not do an adequate job. And then also within the Public Utility Commissions of Idaho and Oregon, that this transmission line is not even needed. So there's another whole stage. This is just about where are you going to put it? We're essentially saying it's not needed. You don't have to put it anywhere, because as we look at renewable energy with storage coming online, that is cheaper than building a transmission line. Idaho Power just signed a contract for 120 megawatts of solar energy. It's called the Jackpot LLC, and it's around by Twin Falls, where they bought energy for 2.2 cents a kilowatt hour. That is significantly cheaper than what the B2H will deliver energy to Idaho for the Idaho Power customers. So the energy industry is being turned on its head. The old vertically integrated model of we generate electricity, we transmit it to you, and we distribute it to your homes. That's done. That paradigm is over. We look at rooftop solar. We look at how the industry is changing. And we're saying transmission lines is not the way of the future. We're looking at more distributed grids, and that's probably where we're going. So Idaho Power, Public Utility Commissions, take a harder look at this. Stop the old ways and look at the new ways. And that's what essentially our ask is. Well, basically, if folks would like to learn more or become more involved, come to our website, stopb2h.org, and on that we've got our phone number, we've got all of our technical filings, we've got a way for you to donate, and I must say, since we filed this press release, we have picked up 18 new members, and we've raised $800, which has been unsolicited. So we know people are interested and concerned, but the website is the best place to find out about us. Then give a call, and you'll get either Fuji or I, and then we'll fill you in on what you would like to know.